Raindrops and Stingrays. LisaRaye and Carlos King are back for another episode of Shit Chat. Hey,
Yes,
Lisa
we are.
Ray.
Yes, we are. Hello, how are you?
You look absolutely stunning, as always.
I look like a teenager. When I tell you I ain't had this hairstyle since I was probably 12 years old, but my hair just don't curl for some reason. I think all the years of the heat and products and stuff, it just doesn't hold a curl. And I got like white girl thin hair, you know what I'm saying? So it just do what it want to do. So I started to give you bed hair, but then I just gave you twist up 15, 13-year-old,
Do
teenage.
we? It's sort of like and I could be saying this wrong. It's like
Pom pom.
a top knot that's like feathered or something.
Give me feather, baby. What's her name? Farrah Fawcett gave.
Farrah Fawcett.
I'm gonna try to do that one day. I'm gonna do real big curls. You know what I'm saying?
You will look. Ooh.
Ooh, let me find me a new hairstyle. I am looking for something though. Because many times us actresses, we don't do anything with our hair because we're wearing wigs and weaves and
Yes.
pieces and all that stuff all the time, and we try to protect our hair. That's why mama got edges. But I am looking for a hairstyle because I want something that I just always wear my hair in a bun, like when you just see me, all the time kind of thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think I need some. When you get older, you don't know, but when women get older, we'll try to go with a shortcut, to kind of make it easy. But I heard that that's not easy, to keep up the shortcut. So I want something very
Oh,
easy.
shortcuts I heard aren't easy either. No, I'm
Yeah.
gonna. Do you have a hairstylist that you love? If not, I can recommend somebody.
I have several hairstylists, but oh, they gonna beat me up for this. But you know how you have stylists that's good for natural hair, then this one is good at
Yeah,
cutting, and then this one is good with wigs and lace fronts, and then so
yeah,
I think I need somebody, that's good to work with thin hair that know how to curl it and make. I got the girl I saw in Atlanta over the Instagram, and every time she do the hair, she finger it with her fingers and she mess with it,
yeah.
and I'm like. You know what? She probably could do me. So stay tuned. I don't know. Right now I got hair, so it's down my back. So thin but down my back.
And guess what? All natural,
All
all,
natural.
and she has all her edges. Because listen, Lisa Ray, as we get to the topics of today, I don't know if I had any edges when it was revealed. So, the vocal Bible, Brandy Norwood, honey, she published a new memoir that is out
Yes.
in stores now. It's called Phases, and it has been trending. She talks about, of course, like her life and her perspective, which is what you do in a memoir, right?
Yes.
However, Lisa Ray, one of the biggest, I would say, scandalous things that came out of it was the revelation that Brandy Norwood revealed that she was 16 years old when she was dating Boyz II Men lead singer Wanya Morris. She talked about how the age gap, now that she looks at it as a grown woman who has a daughter, she said how she felt that he took advantage of her and that the
That's what she
shame.
said. She said he took advantage of her. That's a
Yes,
quote.
and I'm gonna read you verbatim what she said because I want to make sure that I don't misquote anything that she said. She admitted that, one of the reasons why they broke up is because he was cheating. She said for years, Wanye described their relationship as the young ingenue having a schoolgirl crush and getting her heart broken, but that's not the case. And she said verbatim in the book, Lisa Ray, I believe he took advantage. The shame ends here, the silence ends here. I was not a fast girl with a crush. I was not a dramatic teenager who could not handle rejection. I was not an unstable, obsessive fan. I was a child and he was an adult.
Okay, let's unpack that because everything that was said describes a child, So at 16, you're not mature. You could be mature for your age, but you're not an adult. You do make silly, mistakes and decisions, and you can have a crush. You could be a fan, especially of someone that was out there doing it in a way in which made everyone pay attention, and then you getting a little attention from, so that can make a girl get the butterflies, and especially if you're 16.
Hmm.
Is it right? I think right now, I can just speak for myself. I was in eighth grade, and eighth grade is even younger than 16. And I had a crush on a guy that was, I think he was 18 at the time. And 18, back then was like grown, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
knowing that he was grown and that he liked me made me feel wanted, made me feel like I could compete with the other girls or the seniors or the whatever, because I'm like, he liked me, I mean, he could have chose you, but he liked me, and it gave me something, you know was I fast? I think you can kind of say that I was, because if I was going with it and I liked it and I wanted it and I dreamed about it and all of that, it was like, oh, me, 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 me. Was that a bad thing? I had a crush on somebody on TV. I told you I thought Todd Bridges was gonna take me on prom. He had just not found me yet. You know what I mean? That's all. But had he would have asked me, yeah, absolutely, I would have went. You know what I mean? Does that make me fast? Our older people and parents would say, yes, get your fast tail, on in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You don't have no business seeing any boy at 16 back then.
Right.
16 now, they going home telling their mother that I have a boyfriend at 16. I couldn't go and tell my mother that at all. So we are in a different time. I think she's straddling a fence a little bit with old school and new school, because she's not new school and she's not as old school as I am. But that would be a question for her mom. Like, what kind of relationship did they have? Did her mom know that she had a crush on Wanye? Did she know that they were spending a lot of time together? Did she see and feel anything different from her daughter, where she felt like she needed to stop something? I don't know. Or did
Well,
Brandy?
she said it. She said in the book, LisaRaye, to answer your question, she said, I was in over my head, sneaking around with Wanye and lying to my parents had become a constant. They barely liked the idea of me dating at all, and telling them about us was out of the question.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. So then she was a little mature, you know what I mean? Because she knew to finagle, she knew to sneak, you know what I mean? And when we do that, we know that something just ain't quite 100% or right about what we're doing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sneaking at all. Now you find fun in sneaking, though. You know what I mean? That's where you find the ooh wee. So I mean, Brandy, listen, is my baby. You know what I mean? We're friends and we are girls, you know what I mean? And I'm just proud of her telling her truth and coming out like stops here. And she's grown, she's a mother herself, so she don't have a reason to lie, and in her memoirs she wanted to release. So
Hmm.
for me, it's bravo to you. How she wants to do her daughter now will be a lesson for her, because she knows what she did. She remembers how her mother handled her, so maybe that will give her a little bit more leverage to be able to allow her daughter to breathe in a different way when she has her child. We got to break that generational
Hmm.
curse to be able to have conversations that are hard to have, that your mom is cool enough for you to be able to have a decent conversation that will allow you to move forward. So that's what I would say about this whole thing. Let's just stay.
Yeah. It's no, and I agree with you. Listen, I think it's great that she can look at her time at 16 years old, because listen, back then we won't even get to the R. Kelly of it all about learning. Aaliyah was 15 when she married him, and he was, of course, in his 20s, and us knowing that wasn't okay, but life went on, and we still, like, bought music, and we were none the wiser, right? Um, the one thing that is disturbing, and I want to get your thoughts on this too, because I agree with everything you're saying. I think when it comes to girls who are teenagers, and that's why I am proud of parents who are on top of their daughters and sons too, but daughters, because a lot of older men can take advantage of you when you are younger, but you're more developed. And Brandy was a developed young woman at 16. She had the hit TV show Moesha, the top it girl of her
Mhm.
generation. And Wanye obviously was in a major successful group. They toured together, which is how they met. She was opening up for Boys to Men. And again, the one thing that because I like to give grace where grace is there, I'm like, okay, again, back then was a different time. Wanye's in his early 20s. She's 16. I think it's odd, but again, I'm not a straight man. I think it's odd. But I thought maybe, okay, he would say that. Now, he hasn't responded to her saying that she felt he took advantage of her, but there was a Breakfast Club interview, LisaRaye, that happened a couple of years ago, and Charlamagne asked Wanye about it, and he said, yeah, she's around like 16, but she was old enough to get it.
Get what?
He said it, and that it was legal in the states they were touring.
Well, mm.
And I think, in my opinion, I think that response could, because this happened years ago.
Oh,
This book came out last week. I strongly believe his response, those words,
uh-huh.
rightfully so, trigger something in her like that. I don't think anybody wants to be talked to about that way, especially when they're 16. And yes, women mature faster than men, but men have enough common sense to know what is right and wrong. So for him to say that makes it a little disturbing.
Okay, wait a minute now. Okay, I heard what you said that men have should have a little bit more respect and common decency and all of that stuff. But so do we.
Yeah.
This is what really, first of all, I don't know if he's done the research from state to state that they will go to and say, "Oh, this state, we can do it. You can get it in this state." You know what I'm saying? Oh, we can't get it tomorrow though, because tomorrow we'll be in Indiana or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was really. First of all, can he get in trouble now? All these years later?
Well, that's the thing. So what was, and again, the reason why I wanted to
Mm.
color this with how, and listen, I raised my hand. I think we all are trying to, really understand what we allowed to get away with back then. So listen, I never heard that interview until they found it last week.
Hmm.
But to your point, it was said it wasn't trending because I don't think social media was popping back then when he said it, but he did say it. And it's he hasn't said anything since the book. So maybe he's not trying to get in trouble.
This is what I feel. I feel like, you got to say something, and he can't dog her because we know it happened. It happened. You know what I mean? So he also would have to protect himself somewhat in this truth as well. So I don't really expect him to come on out and go, yeah, this is exactly what happened here. You know what I mean? I don't believe that. Um, here's the thing, we always compare ourselves to, what happened back in the day and what happened when the white folks did it. The Elvis Presleys, the Woody Allens, the all of them. Did I say that right? Woody, it was a Woody
Yeah, Lily
Allen.
Allen. Yeah.
You know, uh, shit, everybody did it back then. It's nothing new. Marvin Gaye did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only a problem when it's a problem. You know what I mean? I think it goes back to the parenting, period. It is how you raise your kids. It is how much you watch your kids. It is how much they are fearful of you so they won't do no messed up something outside the house and start sneaking around. You got to be on top of your kids, not just the females, the males too, because as you're saying that he should have more responsibility because he was older, then he got to make sure, or whoever the oldest one is, that he was parented right. So even if she throwing it at you, you then can say, this is not right, and teach her in a way in which it's not harmful and hurting her and something won't come back to bite you. You know what I mean? So to me, these babies having babies, you trying to be your kid's friend, be a parent. Even when you're not ready to be a parent, if you lay down and open up your legs and be able to push something out, then that makes you responsible, just as responsible as the father was to go and enter you and make and create this baby. You are a parent now. Start damn parenting the way that you believe that parenting should be. Now, if you don't believe and you don't want to be a strict parent, and your 16-year-old, your 14-year-old, or whatever can do what you did back there when you was 14 and 15, then okay. You raising you all over again. But if you want to do better, be better. Be a fucking parent. That's what the problem is now. Nobody want to be a parent, but you want to have kids. That kills me. We ain't talking about nothing new. This has been happening forever. We can talk about the black people that's done it. We can talk about the white people that's done it. What are we going to do moving forward with our kids that's being raised now? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it indifferent? It's an individual situation. How do you deal with it? How do you handle it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
No,
know, because
listen.
if my 16-year-old went out there and had it and got it, if she's already having it, it's nothing I can do about it now because she have experienced it in hell. She might be liking it. And if she like it, it's really gonna be hard for me to say, no, don't do this anymore. Now
Yeah.
I gotta be a different kind of parent. Now I gotta be the parent that's gonna listen. Now I gotta be the parent that's gonna be there for her when she needs me and she gets a little confused because now her nose is open, or she's feeling a little foolish, or she's embarrassed, or she's hurt, or her heart broke. You know what I mean? Now I gotta be able to console her. I gotta be a parent. But no handbook comes with that. So you don't damn know. Only thing we know is from the mistakes we've made and the mistakes we've seen so that you could do better. So do better.
That's good.
Jesus.
No, but I mean, listen, that's good advice, and that's why I applaud Brandy for talking about it because I do think, listen, the people who grew up with Brandy, they're her age. Brandy's 47 years old. More than likely, they have children who are 16 years old. So I believe she's also wanting, like you said, parents to know, look out for stuff like this because I do think nowadays, like you said, we know that 16-year-olds are attracted to guys older, and that just seems to be the way it is. But take an opportunity to talk to your child to say, let's sit down and talk about it. Because when you're 18 and there's a 6 year age difference, hey, you're
Yeah.
18.
Yeah. Because I
Do
mean,
you?
if my daughter is in the studio and I'm leaving her in the studio, and we girls, even when you're a mama, you still a girl. You know what I mean? So you can look at a little young tenderoni and go, ooh, if I was back in my day, I could have, you know what I mean? If you feeling that and seeing some vibes, it's almost like stay your ass in the studio too then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah. No, that's real. So as we sort of get on that topic too of, younger women, older men, I want to play this clip for you because there's this person who did an interview and she talked about the reason why she dates older men. So I want to play this for you.
okay.
You're like, okay. What does Carlos have for me right now? All right. Share a screen. Okay. Here it is.
Of an old man. Daddy issues.
Okay.
How?
Tell us more about why you love an older man.
I feel like girls that have daddy issues, for me personally, is like older men. I like older men because they're like, damn, this is gonna sound crazy the way I say it, but this is the realest way I could say it. I like older men because they fill the void of having a dad. It's like a lover and a dad in one because they have all this wisdom and the way that they treat you and the way that they treat you like queens for real. Right. And they give you that feeling of like, oh my God, like I ain't had this from my dad. And then they love you a certain way, but they're also manipulative and conniving. And because they're older than you, they know how to get in your brain. But I like older men because it fills the void of the daddy issues. Some other girls that have daddy issues, they just fuck with shit niggas because that's what they're used to, because that's what they look in. You look for your father in men. So I deal with older men because I was looking for my father in men. But I don't like older men no more. So
he was 10 years older than you.
All right.
yeah,
So,
I love older men.
Mm. Yeah, so much there to unpack, you know. And I hear what she's saying, and I understand what she's saying. And some of those things that she's saying is correct. And she was honest about how she feels, you know. And so you, to me, you know, when someone gives you their opinion and their experience, you have to meet them where they are. You know, that's what she feels, you know. So I'm going to open it up even broader and say, you know, if you're looking for your man to be your father, they're two different people.
Mhm.
They 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 have a different relationship with you and responsibility with you. However, I know what she means. She means the things that your father have introduced you to as the first man in your life. Some of those things make you feel like a princess. And we all want our men to make us feel special, to make
Mhm.
us feel, you know, but that's a man's love that's going to love you totally different than your father. If you start putting those together, I'm going to start thinking like, well, wait a minute here. What do you mean? You know, but I'm not doing that here because again, I understand what she's saying. It's wow, I feel something here because I feel almost kind of sad. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I do. I feel something here that is coming up because I am a daddy's girl, sure enough. I totally identify with how my father raised me and everything. You know what I mean? And I have said I tend to date men like my father, but what I meant by that was the ambition that was there. You know, the business side that was there. You know what I mean? I grew up in money, so I don't know what it is to for you to tell me no. It's almost like, "Nyeh." But I can't say that that won't happen as an adult, and my man won't tell me no because my father used to tell me yes all the time. That I can't compare that. You know what I mean? What that makes me do is go on out there and get it myself. So if you happen to say no, then it's still okay because I can get it as well. So to me, as long as I get it, I'm okay. You know what I mean? Um, so I think that that has a lot of you growing up to do. You got a lot of maturing to do. You got a lot of life to live because when you start living your life right and living your life in a way in which you're getting it for yourself, all the other stuff is just not that important because you already have it. I no longer care about those things that I'm I used to want back then because throughout my life I've gotten it. So, you know, maybe, you know, a Birkin bag, I ain't spending $40,000 on now. I'm gonna go on a $40,000 cruise or something. You know what I mean? I have different priorities now, you know. I do think that a certain security comes with dating an older man because you tend to think that older men are more established, you know, they're more experienced because they've been through a divorce or a breakup or a heartbreak and their children and life and business. So when you're younger, you're still trying to figure it out. What I call that is new money. I tend to like old money. You know what to do with it. You've been doing it with it. You know what I mean? So, new money, you still trying to figure out, hey, well, how can we go spend all of this? And then I am going to tell you, you know what I mean? Just what to do.
Is it
So,
on you?
you know what I mean? Moi, you know what I mean? Want me to tell you? You know what I'm saying? But I don't, what I would really like to have is one big open forum with so many of these girls. And I'm not downplaying them saying girls because we are all girls, but us to grow up to be women and us to grow up to be ladies and us to be able to figure it out amongst ourselves because we're telling each other our stories where we've made mistakes. And when we can come out of that and go, oh, wow, I didn't look at it that way, or I didn't think about it that way. And now that you shined a little light on that, I see it differently now. To be able to give each other a different perspective. Because I had a couple of aunts that made a difference in my life that made me go, oh, I want to cook for my family like that when I get older. I want to have everybody come to
Mhm.
the table at 5:30 to have dinner and no phones at the table. Oh, I want to curl my hair just like that and use those big bomb rollers for feather look. I want to do that. They womanhood made me go, oh, I can't wait to be grown. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us miss that. If we can all be in the room together and see all the vibrancy and tell all the stories that we can tell and ask all the questions that we could ask with no shame and with open mind, I bet you that forum would be so bomb. I bet you it will be because it's so needed. It's so
Mhm.
needed just a couple of women to have women that they aspire to be like and they admire. Because you got to have an admiration for somebody to be able to take away something from them. If you don't feel nothing about them, it's almost like I don't care what you're saying. But if it's a woman up there that you like her style, the way she's maneuvered in life or whatever, you like tell me.
Right.
Those women sometimes we can't get to because either they're on TV or we see an interview or something like that, and maybe they're not even in our family. But if we can all collectively come together and have one of those, oh, I think that would be so great. So maybe I have to think about, you know, how I can make that happen, Captain. Because ooh, we need it. We still need a village. We still need a village. It take a village all the time, and sometimes you don't even know how to put your village together because you didn't even think you needed one. Hmm.
No, and that's real. You know what is so interesting to me is the fact that, listen, I think for most women, not all, but I definitely think it's I'm with you. I hear what she was saying, but I think what she was talking about to me that she was unable to articulate was more so she likes an established, mature man that's about his business because when you say you want a man because who's like your father, you got daddy issues, you want to protect her. And I think those two get conflated. It's like you still need your father because what you said earlier, which is so true, your father provides a different love, obviously, than your man. And if you're looking for your man to be your father, then you're looking for him to raise you. And you're looking for him to guide you. And you're looking for him to tell you what to do and what not to do. And that's not a man. That's a father. And I think that why a lot of women who
That's a pimp. No, it's playing.
well, call it like it is. You
Okay.
know that too. That too. It's like be very careful. So speak on the universe that you want a mature man who's about his, like you said, you wanted a man who was like your father based on his business acumen and his ambitions and what he provided for you as a girl in terms of you pretty much, being raised with money and not always hearing the word no. Like my baby girl, if she want a new dress, she's gonna get one, and I understand that. But I know LisaRaye McCoy, honey, and no one can tell LisaRaye what to do.
That's not true.
LisaRaye, no man
Love
can tell.
comes in so many different ways, and love make you do some things that you thought that you was not gonna do. So love will make you get up before him, make his breakfast, make his coffee, and have it right there when he get up.
But
I
you
think
like doing that.
I do.
See,
When I
no, no, no.
when I find the love, now you can't ask me to do that shit when you know you
No.
ain't did shit. No, it ain't happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's part of the dating process of finding
Yeah.
out what each other's gonna do, how you mesh. I don't mind being a woman. I want to
Yeah.
be a woman because I'm that when you just look at me. Now I got to show you that I am. And I got to give you your love language the way that you understand it. That's part of being a woman. I can't sit here and go, I ain't doing that. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. Because if I'm liking you and you liking me and we trying to do this, I'm going to show my hand. Here it is. This hand. I'm going to show you this hand. All the
We
single ladies. All the single ladies.
You like, don't slide in my DM, slide on my four-finger left hand.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a new slide. That's a new sliding. Don't slide
Okay.
in my DM. Slide one on my finger, child, my
Yeah.
left hand. There you go.
What's
There you
that
go.
song? Baby, can't tell where the hell is my ring at? Da, 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 da. Where the hell is my ring at?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, ladies, stop saying you have daddy issues and you want a man, no, like your daddy. You just want a mature boss, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
And fix
Like,
your daddy issues. Fix yourself because
yeah.
that's a turn off. You come to a man with all this baggage and excess baggage. That's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that. So don't give that to him. So fix yourself. We got to fix ourselves. We got to be the best version of us that we can be so he can see why he want to slide on this
Oh,
finger.
okay.
Slide on it, but slide something on it. You know?
Like, there you go.
Yeah, that part.
That's the only sliding that we will
Yeah.
accept. Okay. So speaking of sliding, this wasn't sliding in DMs, but this person was sliding on other things. Lisa Ray. So,
What that mean?
girl, apparently there is a situation happening in the world of politics.
Mhm.
As we talk about Christy Noam's husband that had a secret fetish, and that secret fetish, Lisa Ray, was cross dressing. There is a photo of this man who is wearing prosthetic breast, and he was a crossdresser. His name is Brian Nome. He paid $25 a minute for online chat, allegedly. On top of that, he allegedly begged for a big breasted Barbie fetish model to marry him. He lived a double life with all of this. And he was also somebody who did not believe in gay rights, allegedly. So, all of these things.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And she's devastated.
Yeah.
People want to know if she can continue on this relationship. What would you do, Lisa Ray, if you found your man wearing prosthetic breast and had a life as a crossdresser?
Yeah, if this wasn't for Halloween or for some kind of reason that you just
I
want
don't even think for
outside the box.
Halloween you would want that. Lisa Ray, I don't think for Halloween you would want your man in
I
prosthetic.
wouldn't want it at all. But I'm trying to get a benefit of the doubt here because, people have secret fetishes and then we don't know, how far you'll go in your relationship just for fun. So if that was the case, again, if it wasn't for Halloween, nah, that's just me. I don't know about that, but we had the Kardashian, Kris Jenner, she knew what was going on for a minute, you know what I mean? And she kind of stayed silent and it was like, woo, so for her level of patience was whatever it was.
Yeah,
This
that's true.
lady here, she like, ooh, what am I gonna do? That's hard. You know what I mean? First of all, that's shocking. You know what I mean? And then you're starting to think about yourself, like, wait a minute, you don't really want this? Why you didn't ask me to put on the big breast and to play around the house with you? And then you start thinking, am I not enough? You
Hmm.
know? And then you start thinking, are you DL and you trying to figure it out? Are you curious because I'm not satisfying you? Or if I'm satisfying you, are you doing anything on the side? Well, now I got to go to the doctor. There's so much there
Yeah.
that's like, ooh, for me, I'd have to find all that out. You know what I mean? There's no way of finding out anything without talking about it. You know what I mean? So the thing is hoping that he would be honest enough to tell her what really is going on with him because he may not even know. He may feel like I'm curious, but I don't really know what I'm curious about. I don't know if it's just as far as just dressing this way or if I want to, permanently be this way or start
Hmm.
being that way, or even if I'm just gay and want to
Hmm.
want to find out. Like that's a lot that he has to unpack, not for her, for him
Hmm.
you know and for me, I think when you've been married you still have to find a level of friendship in there, and so being his friend, she's going to have to be patient enough to absolutely see him through this. I know the anger is there, I'm sure. I know that she's like, I can't believe you, da da da, I'm sure. But when all the shit hits the fan and it falls on the floor, then I think that they'll find themselves to each other in a way in which they'll be able to have an open, honest relationship. And hopefully that's what it can be. And I think that's the only way that she's going to be able to make her decision. If she makes it out of anger and just automatically go, what? You cross dressing? I'm out of here. For me, that's a turn off for me. But I would also want to know why.
Yes. Well, this is what's so fascinating about this story. Um, again, I'm gonna say alleged because he hasn't spoken out this. So allegedly he used the pseudonym Jason Jackson over a 14-month period to converse with women in the bimbofication fetish scene. It's a fetish focused on extreme feminization, and reports are saying that he sent hundreds of messages, engaged in video calls, and sent over $25,000 to webcam models. So, but these were women.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. So, did he cross dress where he was in drag? Was he made up like a woman, or did he just put on the clothes? Do we
It
know?
appears, based on what has been revealed, he just put on the clothes and just had that particular fetish. But what's interesting is, and this is similar to Caitlyn Jenner. So when Bruce Jenner was cross-dressing, I would never forget they did a special where he obviously said, "I'm going to transition to Caitlyn," and the kids asked him, "So are you gay?" And Bruce Jenner said, "No." And they were confused, like, so you don't want to be with a man? And he said, I never had a desire to be with a man. Once I go through this transition, we'll see. So when Bruce became Caitlyn, LisaRaye, he had he was allegedly dating this woman who's now passed away. But Caitlyn has never came out as gay. Caitlyn, till this day, says that she likes women. So that's what's so interesting about this. So this guy wasn't caught with men, he was caught having fetishes with other women.
Right. And that's just what's so, we got so many rules, you know what I mean? Um, and I think, see, this ain't nothing new either. All this went on in back in the Bible days. You know what I mean? Men wore skirts. But now when we see a man wear a skirt, we are blown away because of why? Because now the stigma is all men have to wear pants. Like, when did that happen? I mean, you know what I'm saying? When did that change to make our generation believe that you got to wear pants, or that women couldn't wear pantsuits? I remember that time. It wasn't in my day, but I
Mm-hmm.
remember when women, when they would start wearing pantsuits, it was almost like, what, you want to be masculine? Men wear pantsuits or whatever, you know what I mean? So I think it's just how we were raised and what generation we've come up in that make us turn our nose down at it, because I think fashion now has it more acceptable that men are wearing skirts, you know. Oh, that's what he was doing, huh?
You see it.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I can see him just getting so interested in this, getting sucked in on how
No pun
bimbos
intended.
think. Because when I tell you, I used to be a fan of Marilyn Monroe's sexiness until I started watching her damn movies. And I was like, she was a bimbo. And it took it all away from me. I was just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But I have gotten caught up on, don't, and I know I'm not the only one. I have gotten caught up on social media of seeing the girls that does the plastic surgery to the extreme, where they
Oh
look
yeah.
like blow up dolls. And I get so caught up till I just be like, how? And then I start asking questions, and then I go in the rabbit hole. And then I start saying, well, if they know that I'm a film girl, they're not going to answer my question. So let me act like this then. You know what I mean? And it's like, girl, you are playing a role. And then I get away with it because I'm an actress and I play pretend all the time. And that's what I get paid to do. It's like, wait a minute, girl, you having a secret fetish for real or nah? You know what I mean? So I can kind of understand that he didn't went down the rabbit hole of trying but I don't know for what. Is it for entertainment purposes? Are you using it for your wife? Do you think your wife is a bimbo and you want to introduce some of this to her in your life? What? What? That is the question. Why? What is
And
going
that's
on?
why, to your point, if that's what you okay, so I have a friend.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you had a fetish. I was gonna tell.
No.
Do tell. Shucks, you making me hot over here. Where my fans at? Okay. Wee.
LisaRaye. Okay.
Come on with it. Come on, come on.
No, look, Lisa. LisaRaye, look.
Mm,
I
mm.
do not have a like that.
What was that between your legs? Where you Oh, okay. Okay, I see where you're going with it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I belong to the itty bitty. Well, no, I'm not the itty bitty titty committee. I'm an itty
No,
mitty.
you're good.
I'm middle. You making me sweat. My palms and my hands are sweating.
Okay. No. The thing is this. The thing is this. No. I have a look at you. You gotta go get this.
Come up out of this. Whew. Okay.
I'm fine. Okay.
Okay.
No, I have a friend whose husband had fetishes,
Mhm.
and he told her about it, and she was down with it because that was her husband. You know
Mhm.
what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Mhm.
I think you raise a good point in terms of if that's what you like, okay.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach. Let me
Mhm.
know because
Yeah. Yeah.
the thing is this. You never know what your partner may be okay with if you don't let them in on it.
Mhm.
Would
Mhm.
you be okay with that?
No. No. Because if you don't want me walking around with a strap on, then I mean, I don't. No. If I come in drawing on a mustache or having a Steve Harvey mustache and I got the hat on, I come in like, what's up, nigga? What's happening? Giving you pound. Then I mean, don't let me see it either then. Mm-mm. I like the male to be the male. I like to be the female.
And guess what? And that's real because that's what you signed up for, and that's why I respect it. I respect when people are like, "This is who I am. This is what I like," and there is listen. There's absolutely nothing at all wrong with your preference. But the thing is, if you're married to somebody, keep it real.
Yeah.
Just keep it real. That's the moral of the story. All right. So, LisaRaye, we have a fan question from the Stingrays that they need some advice on.
Okay.
Okay. So this is from Allison in North Carolina. And her fan question for LisaRaye McCoy. She says, "Hey LisaRaye, I'm a Stingray. Love
Oh,
Chit
okay.
Chat. It's my new favorite show on YouTube. Love you too, Carlos. But my question is for LisaRaye. I have been with my husband for 20 years and we have two kids. However, I feel like the passion in our marriage is dissipating, and I am trying to figure out if I'm just over the marriage. He's been my only partner, my only sexual partner, and every day's like Groundhog Day. I don't want to divorce him because he's such a great guy, but I also am not satisfied. What should I do?
Have a menage a trois. No, no, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you because at the beginning of the question of can we have a menage a trois, see what his answer is gonna be, whether it's gonna be two men or two women. And if you start to get ready to go through it, and in the beginning, just before it goes down, you feel away because maybe he reached for her before he reached for you, and you still get a little upset or feeling a little away, then you still have feelings there, and you don't want to share him, and you don't want him to have and desire anyone else. That feeling, you take that feeling and you save your marriage. That's what I mean by introducing a menage a trois because you keep it still safe within your house. I wouldn't tell you to go cheat. I wouldn't tell him to go cheat. That's not what I mean. That's why I mean it has to be an understanding between you all if this is something that you all want to try within your household and see how you feel. you know, because a lot of times when you get ready to experience something that you think that you want to experience, and then you really are there in the moment of it, and you see it and it's getting ready to go down, and it's like, no, he didn't choose her first before me. Why didn't he? And you feel that, that means
Mhm.
there's something still there. And if it's something still there, I think it's worth investigating about. And then you can go to counseling or you can meet with your pastor or something, but give it a good old college try before you say that you don't want this anymore.
That was, I have no notes. That was
Okay.
excellent.
Okay, thank you then.
That was That was fucking amazing, actually. That's great advice. And I didn't know where you was going with it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Gap, like, but I think that's the best advice.
I
I
think, you know, because here's the thing, you don't ever want to stay just because, you know, you have kids, because the kids are going to feel that energy too.
yeah.
And you don't want to stay if you're not happy. So since you've expressed this lack of happiness and joy within your marriage, then take a step to see where you are, how you really truly are feeling. You know, and even if you like the menage a trois, this may be something that you can introduce to your marriage to make it spicy. You know what I mean? And so then you all can grow from there. There's a lot of different couples that do a lot of different things, you know. And whatever you want to make your marriage and whatever that you can handle and he can handle collectively, that's what you do, because it's still marriage and love.
And you heard it here first. So stingrays and raindrops. Remember, you have a question, please leave it in the comments and I will make sure to ask it. That was a really, 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 really good one. Okay. LisaRaye and I will be back not next Wednesday, the Wednesday after that for another episode of Shit Chat. You know where to find us. Love you,
Yeah.
LisaRaye.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.